Hey guys, Pastor Person is my name. I'm so excited to come your way. There's a trick about life that people really don't understand, and that's the reason why sometimes you say, I am this, and you are really not that, or you make promises and then you fail in those promises because you really don't know who you are. Okay, and most importantly, because a lot of time people can act many things, they think that they are what they can act. As a matter of fact, when you're very intelligent, you could pick things and find yourself acting them and begin to conclude that you are that thing, but really you are not that thing. People live by forming or by acting, right? But they are life by structure. They are life by what they really have been formed internally. That is to say, the subconscious man is the real you, and this says that's about 95%, and then the conscious man is 5%, right? And that's the one that we consciously act. Okay, that means when we're around people and we comport ourselves, that's what people find from us, and it is quick for them to believe that that's who we really are. But the truth is that's not who we really are. We are a function of the things that we have been hearing, receiving, which is called training, and that's what really makes the real us. Glory to God. So you are not what you act, you are not what you think or feel, you are how you're structured. A lot of times when you are under pressure, or when you are very excited, or maybe when you are around people you are very familiar with, the real you may just be stemming out. Okay, but when you are around, people you're not comfortable with, when you are in an official place and all that, you start to act the you that it's a function of intelligence. And a lot of time people just think that that is who you are, but that's not necessarily who you are. This is very important. Okay, so I said all that because I'm going to deal with something here. Okay, what's that thing? A lot of time, you see, as life works, we begin to find things happen, and then we want to caution people, we want to force people to do right. As a matter of fact, that's the Christianity that we find today. We say, oh, we have told you, you didn't hear, so you should stop because we told you. And then we want to enforce people to be right. And then we forget that people cannot automatically change. People cannot automatically do right from wrong. They will need to go through another process of being retrained, because in the first place, they were trained to be what they are now. So they will need to be retrained into another thing. So instead of wasting your energy to want to force people to do right or tell them right to do, why don't you retrain them? Put them on a process of retraining them. Sometimes it might need to be, you will need to re-mentor them. Sometimes you might need to enroll them in a school. Sometimes they might need a coach. They might need a counselor who will begin to work on their mind again so they can unlearn to relearn. This is very important. Okay, so when we do that process, that's when we really will achieve substantial change. But it is also up to them, because they must be willing to change first. Otherwise, all that process will not work. So Jesus said, right, to Judas, you're going to sell me. He said to Peter, you're going to betray me. Someone would have said, he even told you could not learn. Can't you have sense, right? Why did you still do it? That shows you something strong. He told them what they were going to do, and they still did it. It is not because they are wicked. It is not because they don't listen. It is because that's already what they were going to do, is already a part of a structure in them. So they really could not help themselves but to do it. That's what you find all the time. When someone apologizes and says, I won't do something wrong again, and they do it, and you say, you are lying to me. No, it's the structure that is working. Okay, you can't help yourself. Romans chapter number 6, verse number 16 will say something very profound. It says, to what you yield your member to, you become a slave. That's not something you do one day, you become a slave. No, what you yield your member, that means you've been giving yourself to that thing, right? And it's been forming something internally in you. Even when Jesus spoke about that talent, right, of the guy who had received something, a seed, but yet when problem showed up, he could not, act according to what he has heard. He said, because the word had not formed root in them. That's the place of meditation. As a matter of fact, you don't know what meditation is. Meditation is one of the biggest secrets to growth, to learning, right? When we subject ourselves through repetition, Paul will tell Timothy, right, till I come, give thyself to reading. Then he says, and that the word will become whole in you. Then he says, your your profiting will appear to all. So in other words, you cannot change from what you used to be to something else until you subject yourself to a process, right, of repetition, relearning, rewatching, right, applying, using the things that you are learning. That's when you become better with the new things that you are learning. Glory to God. And I conclude with this. As you begin to unlearn to relearn, which is necessary for growth, it is important that you don't unlearn the right things and start learning the wrong things. It is only beautiful to unlearn the wrong things and learn the right things. And of course, in unlearning, you cannot delete it. You can't press the delete button. So you will need to go through a process of superimposing the right thing over the wrong thing and stop to meditate or pay attention to the wrong thing so you don't get strengthened by the wrong thing. So even if you want to do right stuff and your attention is still on the wrong thing, you will still do the wrong thing and not do the right thing. And that's what you'll now find people will say things like, right, the things that I don't want to do, I find myself doing. You don't want to do it, but you find yourself doing it. It was Paul who said that, because Paul was already fashioned in a certain way and he has to run in that way that he's been fashioned as against the things that is in his conscious self to do. Until what's in your conscious self move to your subconscious self, you cannot find new actions from your life which will walk into new habits and then new character. And that's when we can certify and say, this guy has truly changed. Glory to God. So give yourself to a process of learning the right things and stay through the process and continue therein, and you'll be excited what your life will turn into. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.